In our last session, we discussed a letter written by a woman who was mystified by the behavior of her boyfriend, Tom. At the Renaissance fair they attended together, he enjoyed giving her a rose, but only minutes later he became quite displeased when she gave him the same gift. I explained that we all have a natural and powerful feel for real love. We want it. We naturally want to create it and participate in it. And we tend to become quite unhappy when it is disturbed, when it is taken from us. Now, back to the writer of the letter. That is what happened with you and Tom. Although his motivations were almost certainly mixed to some degree with imitation love, and as we discussed in our last session, and as our motivations almost always are, part of Tom was motivated by a concern for your happiness. Part of him wanted to bring you an untainted gift, something that was pure and undefiled, offered, as I said before, as though on a field of white lilies for a mental picture. And then you ruined it all. You backed up that dump truck and unloaded the steaming pile of smelly, nasty goo that sullied his offering, which to that point had been given on another plane entirely, an unconditional plane. Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating and having a little fun with you, with these mental picturing, but exaggerating only a little. You see, we have our unconditionally loving moments only occasionally. They don't happen all that often. So when we actually produce one ourselves, as Tom did with you, we're kind of tickled with them. We really don't want them to go away. He was enjoying that unconditionally loving moment as much as you were. That rose he offered you was a golden little moment, platinum if you like. It was real love, for heaven's sake. Wow! Then, what did you do? Without meaning to, you had no clue whatever that you were doing this. In your defense, when you got the other rose, you paid him back for his unconditional gift. That's like paying Santa Claus, or tipping the Easter Bunny, or lassoing a unicorn and tying him to a fire hydrant. It kind of takes the shine off the magic of the thing, you know? Big time. You turned a precious unconditional gift into a common negotiable trade. You turned gold into lead. And even though you didn't mean to, you still did it. And he couldn't even put into words what you'd done. And it couldn't even be undone. Awful, wasn't it? I mean, a real gift is great, isn't it? He reaches down into his heart, tears out a piece, reaches out to touch yours. It's from him to you. There is only his concern for you. No payment. That's what makes it real love. It's beyond price. It can happen with a single rose, or a look, or a touch of a hand. So many ways. But you can destroy that love in so many ways. The obvious ways come to mind easily. The snappy critical comment, the unloving look, the look of disdain, of contempt, the look of injury, of victimhood, the cold withdrawal of the hand. Oh, we know so many ways to destroy a loving feeling. But you've discovered another one, a more subtle one, to turn unconditional love into a trade. That's a sneaky move. Because now, by giving him a rose, you've done a clever thing. You've paid him back. You see, real love can't be earned. But there's a scary part in that, because that means it also can't be controlled. So there's an element of helplessness in real love that bothers many people. People not familiar with real love have this irresistible urge to reach out and trap it, control it, manipulate it. And one way to do that is to pay for it, as you did. And I'm sure you didn't realize you were doing it. Now, more questions about who knew what and when, and then finally, what can be done now in your situation? Is it too late to fix this? We'll talk about that in our next session.